This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Hey, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
A couple in England recently found out their neighbors were moving and their house was up for sale. So, like anybody, out of curiosity, they looked it up on a real estate site to check out the photos of the inside and everything.
Of course.
They're scrolling through the photos there, and they see their cat sleep on one of their beds. Their cat had been living a secret double life.
Oh.
In a photo of one of the bedrooms, their cat Freddie is stretched out all comfortably on the bed, making himself right at home. They had no idea that Freddie was over there and spending time with the neighbors. They say that he would go around the neighbors' homes in the neighborhood, but didn't realize that he was living there part-time, and it might not be the only neighbor that he has been cheating around with. These guys like, hey, man, that's my cat. They say other people on the street see him all the time, too. All of them call him by different names.
You got to be kidding me.
So they're saying that he could secretly be living 3 or 4 different lives.
So he's not even Freddy the cat anymore.
No.
He can be Charles, he's Freddy, he's Whiskers, he's Muffin.
Does that story hurt, Mom?
Yeah, I was going to say.
It does.
Does it bring no sunshine?
Actually, when we talked about this earlier, I kind of got pissed off in the office. I'm like, no, they didn't have permission to do that. I mean, they got to remember I'm a kid.
No, you say it like
They took
that,
my dog.
but I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I said, he's like, nah, man, I didn't give him permission to have sunshine.
Right.
Bro, I know. Hey, man, let it go.
Have you brought this up to your mom?
No.
You should.
No, because
you need a Dr. Philman. You just need to tell her
if
sunshine burning in hell bothers you.
If I went through all the messed up stuff, you know what I mean? I'd be like, we'd be there for hours, and she'd just think I hated her. It's just better to let sleeping dogs lie, no pun intended.
But look, you don't.
I don't know, man.
That dog ain't waking up.
I say you wait for a classic Christmas day around 8 p.m. Hey,
Why'd you let my dog away?
Why'd you throw my dog away? 30 years ago, and I'm still pissed.
I'm the one who raised the dog. Asses.
Oh.
Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK. It was my dog. They didn't ask me.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Alice in Chains even wrote a song about it.
What, them bones?
No, I was going down in a hole. No, not even that one. There's a song called Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
On the first album. It's all about the dog. I promise you. So, I guarantee you call Jerry Cantrell right now. He'll tell you, hey, that song Sunshine on our first album, Facelift episode? No, Facelift. That was definitely for Miles's dog. Yeah, because I'm the neighbor that it stayed with.
That's like saying Sunshower from Cornell is based on,
when she got ground up.
A golden one. Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
Who's to say it's not? Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
So, basically, back in the day when it was cool to go to GameStop and actually buy discs and take home and, pop it in and play, one time I went to the store, GameStop, and I was looking for a new game to play, and I had taken one of the cases off the display because you're supposed to bring it up and then they give you the disc from whatever sleeve they have.
Sure.
I found the disc still in the case.
Oh, yeah.
So I just took it, and I did it a couple times, and sometimes I would buy another game, or I would just be like, I didn't find anything, I'm leaving, and I got over the years I got a few of them, and I should feel bad, but I don't.
Of course you don't feel bad. And how many do you think you pilfered from GameStop over the years?
Oh, a dozen, maybe more.
Wow.
Do you still play that game system?
The upgraded version, yeah.
Do those discs still work?
Yeah.
They do. Okay. All right, that's shocking.
Oh, yeah.
I figured updates would happen and that would be online, and you know what I mean?
I didn't realize that GameStop, it's probably smart of them to do that, because video games are obviously a very hot property. Yeah, I mean, I would steal them, too, because they're expensive, man.
Did you buy stock in them when you were doing this?
Oh, no. This was like a decade ago.
Yeah, that was the dumbest move you made. Not the fact that you took stuff. You should have been buying stock, apparently.
You say that, but I'm not smart enough to do stock. So
no one is. Don't worry about it.
Especially not that one.
Nobody knew.
That one was very.
You saw that one coming.
Right. That ain't missing an investment and opportunity because you just didn't put money in.
Correct. That would be the ultimate 4D chess move. Yeah, man. Like, wow, you played the long game on this.
Somebody held it. Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jocelyn. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Hola.
So, I was just at the store, and I heard you guys' radio thing, and it made me think of it because I was buying laundry soap. So, we live with my boyfriend's family, and I think it's the weirdest thing that his sister will go in when you're doing laundry, and without permission, she'll take your clothes out of the washing machine. But she doesn't put them in the dryer and start them. She puts them on top of the washing machine and leaves them, and then just leaves.
How many times?
They get all soggy and nasty, you know.
How many times have you come back to that awful smelling pile of laundry when she does
Oh
that?
my God, like 10 or 20 or something, just since last summer. And it's just ridiculous. Like, she'll take somebody's comforter out and put it on top even.
But also, it's multiple loads. So by the time you get there to put your stuff in, she's got her stuff then moved to the dryer. Another load's in the washer, which also needs to be dried. So by the time,
and then there was nothing in the dryer to begin with. Like, she could have just tossed it in the dryer, but no.
You still live with her?
Right on top. Yes, we still live there. I'm doing laundry today, so I thought of that when you guys said, what did somebody not have permission to do? And I'm like, great.
How long?
Please don't do that.
How much longer do you think you're stuck living there?
Hopefully not that long. I think we just got approved for an apartment. So.
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right. That's very cool.
Thank goodness. We have a 2-year-old, so it's not fun living with family anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
I bet you they'd agree.
Roommates do take advantage of each other every once in a while.
I mean, I ate your burrito. You know I did. Don't get upset.
My one buddy Joe, man, I didn't pay for laundry detergent for a year.
Oh yeah, everybody's good for something. What did you contribute?
His mom would bring it.
Oh,
so I'm like, hell with it, Joe. You didn't pay for it. Your mom did. I'm going to use it.
Yeah,
doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right, but it makes your argument better.
And he always had it. So I was like, hey, dude, I just need to skip.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm fine with that.
But because I feel like everyone, depending who you live with, everyone contributes something. Right? I knew my boy Tony would always have milk. So, yeah, I drank the last year milk with my cereal. And I know you're upset about it, but because you have such a weird thing with milk, I know you're going to go get more milk. And this is going to happen again. And you can get as mad about it as you want since you're living here rent-free, you son of a bitch. Martha, who also lived in the house, yes, her name was Martha, always had laundry detergent. Oh, and man,
Rozak also had Snuggle. So, I mean, you really step your game up. I mean, you take that laundry, you're like, oh, God, I'm in a crappy-ass apartment. Boy, this smells great. This sweatshirt smells, this Champion sweatshirt smells great.
Yeah, I mean, when I lived with all those guys in a row house, like, basically somebody would just yell at you. But, like, you had to switch the laundry over. Mm-hmm. But half the time, honestly, half the time, like, if I had a Sunday off, I would just drive home, eat free food at my mom's house, and let her do it.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, you play that. Your parents' house becomes a laundromat.
Yeah,
who didn't get permission to
food? Yeah,
I used to take food home. I go through the pantry, stuff that wasn't even cooked. I'd just take food from the house and steal it.
Your parents didn't just give it to you. Anytime I visited, my mom's like, "Look, you look like crap." She wouldn't say those exact words, but she always danced around the fact, "I could tell you're on drugs. You look awful." So before I ever left, it was, "Here, why don't you take this home?" But the thing is, at this time, I lived with 4 other dudes, and I'm like, who do I tell that I have this, right? Paul was always reliable. Paul, you can tell anything. Paul's not going to tell anyone. You just got to cut him in on your deal. But I'm like, if I go home and put this in the fridge, by the time I get home from work tomorrow, all of this is gone. All of it's guaranteed. And there's no one to get mad at.
So like, whose food is this? I'm just going to eat it?
Yeah. Dude, we were broke. You know what I mean? And not that any money we made, we spent on drugs and booze. I know this sounds. Every once in a while, your body demands that you consume food. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, hey, all this partying is great, but you got to eat food. So if you open the fridge, somebody went home, man, you know what I mean? There's like 3 ribs left. Well, you're going to eat 2 of them. You know, and I know it's bad.
1 rib. God, but I can't believe people just didn't lose their mind in that place.
I know people did, but we're all in the same boat. So it's like, what are you going to do? Because look, man, if I go home and bring home ribs, I know you're going to do it too. That's the whole thing about it. Like, I know it sucks for you right now, but you know I'm going to get you back when you eat my crap. It was a guarantee, man.
Yeah, well, that was the big thing, too, is all those guys went to Hopkins. So me and Burris grew up in the same, like, economic bracket.
Right.
The other guys did not. So that was always the thing, too, is that you had to figure out when people's families were coming, you have your ass on that couch in the living room.
Yeah.
Because when that dad, everybody knows the one dad that's going to take anybody in the house out for dinner with them.
Also, you just kind of waited.
Oh, yeah.
And dressed up, probably.
I would skip stuff just to hang out because I knew somebody's parents were coming. Yeah, we'd get some.
Were they offered to take you guys out for dinner?
Yeah, if you were sitting there, like they're all going to dinner.
So there's like 10 people. There's like 10 people like hanging around.
I mean, well, no, the other guys didn't mooch as much as I did. So probably like you think a family of 4, so it'd be like 5 or 6 that night.
Okay, all right, you and Burris.
We used to have a guy named Chip that we worked with, and Chip came from a lot of money, and Chip's a fine guy.
Chip also broke the rules and spilled soda. You're not supposed to bring soda in the studio because if you spill it, it'll wreck a board, and he did it twice.
In 2 nights. He did it twice, so he spilled it, and then they put out the memo.
He'd also be eating lobster on the board while he did it.
Well, this is the thing about Chip. So Chip would come in, man, and at this time in my radio career, I'm working with all the other board ops. We're all broke. Radio just doesn't pay, and certainly when you're on the bottom of the totem pole, you're not getting any real cash, but you love what you do. But we'd all commiserate about this, and the thing is, Chip would walk into the studio. It was like 5 of us in there. And Chip would walk in, and he had just come from, like, some fancy seafood place with his parents. So we're all lamenting about how broke we are, blah, blah, blah. And Chip would open up this big-ass piece of styrofoam. He'd like shrimp scampi and all this. I mean, the studio smelled so good, man. And everyone's stomach would growl where it sounded like you're in the jungle at night, right? You would just smell this. It's all of it. And Chip, he would always join the conversation. Now, he was correct. They didn't pay him well either. The difference was, I'm not going home to like an 8-bedroom goddamn mansion in Pikesville or wherever the hell it is that he lived, right? So, but Chip, now keep in mind, I had just gotten in trouble maybe 2 weeks before this. They put about a memo and said, hey, man, we don't know who's doing this, but you got to stop, like, bum rushing the vending machine. Because they could tell they were losing inventory, but no money was going in, all right? And because I would work the overnights, and I get a running start, and you slam into this thing. Whatever shook loose is what I ate. This is not a joke. The worst part was always, what are the Mallow cups? I hate Mallow cups, but Mallow cups,
they'll fall out.
They drop the easiest. So here, my meal for the day is going to be these Mallow cups. When they finally figured out it was me, Bill Pasha, our boss, pulls me aside. I told him, you know why I do this, man? He goes, why? I said, because you don't pay me enough. I got a 50-cent raise. Thank you very much.
Nice.
I did. I did not expect that, but I did. Anyway, so Chip would always join these conversations and quietly would bug all of us. We're like, goddamn, every single time he comes in for his shift, man.
He's got like filet mignon.
He's got, right. So one day, he put his crap in the fridge. I ate every goddamn last bit of food in his styrofoam container, and it was awesome. It may have been one of the best meals I've eaten in my life. Dude, and I did not care. I did not care at all. It even said Chip. I'm like, I know it's Chip. I singled you out because I know you have the best food, man, and ate his stuff.
Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
When Jolene was working, and look, and I don't care what kind of office environment you have. If there's a communal fridge, people tend to put their names on stuff, whatever. I don't think you should have to do that because you know what's yours and what's not. Like, I knew Chip's food was not mine. It did not matter. It was Chip's. I just knew that Chip had good food and F him. But Jolene, when she was here, man, she's working late night. She's here alone. All she liked were her frozen burritos. Do you remember this? She had frozen burritos. She put them in the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea was that when she came in, wait, no, this was her frozen burritos, man.
I thought she left the note.
She left the note. She was angry
because someone ate her burritos.
It was the part-time kids were eating her burritos. And she would keep out these burritos. It's just the point that they're hers and they didn't ask permission. They cost probably $1.20 each, right?
Doesn't matter. It was a dinner.
That's going to be her dinner. And this went on for months, man. It didn't matter how angry.
These were good. These are the big El Paso ones. You know what I mean? Like, they're like the bigger ones.
Stop bringing them in. Every time you bring them in, you get mad because somebody ate it. You know why? Because they're good, and you keep supplying them.
But meanwhile, there's a plate in the sink with a fork on it with burrito residue.
I don't know what. She never found out who did. Jesus. I mean, this went on for months. We're like, Jolie, stop bringing in the burrito. I shouldn't have to. No, you're right. You're right. I'm just telling you, they're going to take your burritos again. because they keep doing it, and frankly, they look delicious.
Who taking permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
You know, you always hit the bottom of the barrel when it's like midnight. You're in a corner store. It's like, I'm going to get the bomb. A giant one. It's like, it's not even frozen, man. It's like a nice one.
I know.
Can I microwave it in here?
I did that many times in my life.
And the bomb is just one of those late night snacks. Tastes great going down. You pay for it the next
You will
day.
regret it the next day. More things that, believe it or not, you need to ask permission to do. You might not know this.
All right.
Have you ever played poker for money at home?
At my home?
Not necessarily yours, but...
At somebody's home.
Yeah.
Well, does it count if I lost?
Doesn't matter.
So what do you mean? You're not allowed to...
I was just donating.
Believe it or not, in some states, they prohibit even a friendly game of poker in the comfort and privacy of your own home if it involves money. For example, Mississippi forbids all gambling except for charitable reasons and on their steamboat cruises. And New Jersey only allows gambling authorized by the state. If you have a poker game in your house and the cops decided they have nothing better to do, if they busted you, they could get your ass.
That's because of mobs and having gaming
Right.
areas.
Understood.
That's what that is.
Understood.
People run, stuff out of their basement.
Well, sure.
25 people in a home.
You talk about roommates. A couple things where they say, look, it's not necessarily permission, but generally we all agree to operate under the same certain rules. So someone here says, throw away a recyclable item in the trash because the trash is closer. Not because you didn't know, just trash is closer. Put an empty box of food back in the fridge.
That one's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. It's bad. I believe only children do it. I did it a few times as a kid until my father's voice got to me and I stopped doing it. It had not happened again in my life until I have kids. And I get my heart set on whatever I'm going to have, and I'm like, this goddamn Yesterday, for example, my daughter asked for permission, Dad, can I have some mint chocolate chip ice cream? I said, we have mint chocolate chip ice cream. She goes, yeah, we had some over the weekend. Said, sure. We opened the freezer, and before I could get the thing fully open, she's like, oh, I forgot it's empty. I'm like, what do you mean it's empty? Is it gone or empty? She put the whole goddamn thing back. There's no ice cream in it. Mm-hmm. I said, if you know, why would you put this back in the freezer? I don't know. That's her response to all things, and it's at the point I believe her. But it's like, but throw it out if there's no food in it. You said I know it's empty before.
God, damn. Like, oh, there's like, oh God.
Leave the toilet paper roll empty. That one pisses me off. How about this one? When's the most recent time you've done this? We've all done this. I'm going to say no one here has done it in the last 20 years. Put gum under the table.
I've not done that. I think my gum years are done.
Not flush the toilet. Again, that's a daughter. I pee in the pool. Yes, I do pee in the pool, but at least I tell people that I pee in the pool. Like even
that's even more disturbing.
Is it worse than I tell you?
I would rather not know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know you're doing it, but I just don't need to know you're doing it. You know,
I don't tell you at the time I'm doing it.
Like, maybe I like this, on the back, right? Okay, but I don't need to tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, then I want to know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, either way. Take it or leave it.
No, that's fair. Okay, that's
Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Rick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you doing?
Hola.
Listen to the show all the time. You guys do great.
Oh, thank you, Rick.
man.
Appreciate it, man.
Well, I got a good one here for you. Back in my younger day, we're talking as in 20s, there were two roommates and myself sharing a place, and we didn't make a lot of money, and mac and cheese would have been one of your big dinners to eat sometimes. Well, my friend, he had the Sloppy Joe mix, and he'd been talking about it, waiting, saving it for weeks. Well, I kind of preempted his meal prior to, and had cut the label off and put an old can of just some cheap S&W chili there. Well, kind of watching his face there, he opened it up, had kind of a weird face, cooking it, and he took a bite, and I just said, what's wrong? And he says, God, this stuff just doesn't taste right. And I couldn't, I just busted a belly laugh. I couldn't hold it any longer. And he was so mad. It was unreal. But
you ate a Sloppy Joe.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And switched the label.
That was like I switched the label and glued it on with some Elmer's glue. So it looked perfect. I took a razor blade and did it right.
See, that's what would piss me off about it. I expect my roommates are occasionally going to eat my food. But the fact that you then went through all of that to throw me off course. Like,
that's why I made the elbow chili. It's exactly why I made the elbow chili.
And he was just so high and happy to go have that. He was just walking around like
yeah, because Sloppy Joe is delicious. Sloppy Joes are great.
He was having his Sloppy Joe dinner, and the rest of us were eating poor man style. And he was all, I said, man, share some. He goes, no way, man. You know the story.
Well, I just had a discussion about this with Steve the other day. If I have a pound of ground beef, all right, if I'm not making 2 hamburgers with that, then Sloppy Joe's is the best thing to do with that.
I have not had Sloppy Joe's in so long.
Bolognese isn't bad, whatever, but I'm telling you right now, man, you have Sloppy Joe, and because you don't really, it's not that ground beef is bad in a taco. It's just not the best thing in a taco.
I do not want ground beef.
I don't mind ground beef in a taco, but if I got ground beef, man, I'm going to get Sloppy Joe all the way.
If I get ground beef in a burrito, it feels dirty now.
Why?
Because it's all greasy and stuff.
Or something, man.
Well, right, you get shredded beef, you could get barbacoa,
you can get
pork, you can get chicken. Like, I'm with you. That's all I grew up on. But now it's like, you know what, the hell with it. Give me that ground beef.
It's not the meatloaf isn't delicious, or the meatballs aren't great. I just think,
Sloppy Joe's are great. And they're
Sloppy Joe's, man.
But I'm with Thrill. I cannot remember the last time I had a Sloppy Joe.
I now have a deep hankering for it, so that might be tonight, man.
And tater tots? Oh, man, next thing you know, you're 12.
It's time to go back in time.
All the hair falls off your body. Voice goes up an octave.
Maybe that's a holiday meal. Sloppy Joe's and tater tots.
Yeah. Maybe a side of mac and cheese. Shoot. Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle. An Odyssey station. Yeah. You're in the men's room.
Ryan Castle coming up from his basement studio dungeon bar. Once again, we will sit spin. We go to the 80s. A slice of dude, it's the 80s. We've got the 10 best albums from the decade known as the 80s coming up with Ryan right after emails on our question, who did not get permission to do the thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, Miles, some people commenting on Sloppy Joe's. It says, for my 40th birthday, my wife said I could have anything for dinner. And I went with Sloppy Joe's and tater tots. I like them extra sloppy.
Yeah.
Someone else says, try using the Sloppy Joe meat on your tachos.
Be fantastic.
And then regarding today's question, who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? It says, my ex-roommate would try on my clothes when I wasn't home. I'm a girl.
It's always women.
Is that another woman doing that, or is that a guy?
No, I think she's saying a dude was trying on her clothes.
It wouldn't matter who it is. It wouldn't matter the sex. But it would be weird. I mean, maybe.
That just makes
someone
it weird.
puts on your clothes. It doesn't matter.
Right, like everybody, like I did it a few weeks ago, right? Somebody's at my house, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, you want a pair of sweatpants? Here.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if one of my friends was like, hey, I tried on your clothes while you weren't home, I'd be like, what the
Those sweatpants you have are really comfortable. What sweatpants?
We tried.
I mean, like, you tried my sweatpants on?
Sure
right,
did.
I don't know how to explain it, but that is going through a line. But I've heard about people trying on women's clothes.
Yeah, I mean, if you know they're interested in women's clothes, it's not a big shock to you. If you don't, and you walk home like, hey, Jeff, are you wearing my wife's dress? Like, yeah, like, look, I don't care, but it's a little weird right now, man. Mm-hmm. And take her goddamn clothes off. We used to work with a guy. I won't say his name, but it was Fletch. And you talk about not asking permission. Mm. This dude, I won't go through everything he's done, but on one particular occasion, we are checking into Cave B. That's the hotel right next to the Gorge. All right. And this is a nice place.
It is the Gorge Hotel.
And we did not book this place of our own accord. The manager of Tool is a very good friend with our boss. So this guy took the time to invite all of us down there and rent this place. So as reckless as we were, as much drinking and drugs, we all knew, like, hey, man, but a Cave B, like, be responsible, right? Because
we don't want to get kicked out of here. It's the only hotel room, and it's right beside the venue.
But also the guy that booked it, this is a good, solid guy, right? So we get there, and the only rule, just like, hey, Castle was the point man on this, so he's going to check us in and explain away any concerns they might have. So Fletch calls Castle and says, hey, man, I'm at KFB. And we all heard this. Castle goes, hey, man, that's fine. We're about 15 minutes out. We're really not far. Just do me one favor. Do not check in under the KISW name. I'm the point guy in this. I'll take care. Fletch's like, okay. We get there. We can't find Fletch. We don't know where he is. But whatever. We check in. We go to the room. We open the door. There's Fletch and his tighty whities.
Mm-hmm. Just didn't he use all the towels too when you guys got
used towel? But the other thing was, didn't he take your last dip?
That was a different concert.
It was a different.
I was still dipping, and he took the last dip. But I'll tell you what else he did.
But he didn't ask your permission.
No,
it's like taking my last.
He went through your bag.
Yeah,
he had to go through his bag that he didn't have to go through to find his dip. Realized there's one dip left, and then took it.
The other thing that happened to Cave B is I think it was Thrill and I. We're sitting out, there's a little grass patch, and we're playing catch with a baseball and 2 baseball mitts. Then Fletch is like, I want to play catch. But he only stands like maybe in far as front of me as Thrill is. So what's that? 5 feet, 6 feet?
Not enough for catch.
Well, I'm just saying, he's got a glove. He's like, all right, I'm going to catch one. And then for some reason, at the last second, he just moves. And that ball hit me in the shin. I can still feel it. And I'm like, what? I mean, I think
you were pissed.
I'm pretty sure I yelled something like, what are you doing? Like, what? You can't not catch the ball. It's catch. Yeah. It's the point of the damn game.
We're not playing dodgeball.
Right.
And if we are, Ted didn't know.
Like,
who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Dan. Welcome to the men's room.
Put some shoes on you at work.
Hey.
Hola.
So I didn't have permission to spread my grandpa's ashes where I ended up spreading them. He lives in Florida, passed away a few years back. Our family flies down there. Grandpa's an avid NASCAR fan, and so we get this idea like, man, it'd be cool if we could somehow spread his ashes on the track. And they used to do like tours of the racetrack, but they weren't doing them for whatever reason that time. I think that Daytona was right around the time when the Daytona 500 actually happened. So we got to cruise around the racetrack, and we found a parking lot that was right off of turn 4. And so there was gates and everything that were locked, but there was a chain locking the gate. And I said, hold on a second. And so we stopped the minivan with my mom and my wife and everybody in the minivan. I grabbed a baggie that had Gramps' ashes in it, and I was wearing flip-flops, and I run over to this gate, and I can get it open. The chain is just loose enough that I could sneak through between the gates, and I scurry up the side of the outside of the racetrack, which is super steep and grassy, so being in flip-flops was super challenging. Surprised I didn't roll an ankle. And I took the baggie with Gramps' ashes, opened it up, and just let it rip, man, all over turn 4.
That's really cool, man. That's very cool. I'm almost under the understanding that if you'd have just gone up and there was a gate and it was manned, and you
said it,
yeah.
If you can convince him, you tell him. I feel like if your
mom's there, your grandmother is there.
I'm spreading someone's ashes. I feel like even if they don't, assuming you're not dumping it in someone's thermos, I just feel like people would give you the go ahead. Like, all right, I didn't see anything.
In Florida, the security guy's like, why don't we put him in a beer bong, man? We'll do it. Come on, man, get in here. Tell your grandma to get in here. She can do a cake stand.
I'll mix him with cocaine. We'll snort him. I'm telling you, it'll be a great thing.
You like Keystone Light, right? Come on.
I do feel like if you say you're spreading someone's ashes, and you know what, I might start just carrying an urn with just random ashes, right? That way, if I'm anywhere that I shouldn't be, and the cops, you there, what are you doing there? Look, I know I'm not supposed to be here, man. I apologize. I see this urn. It's got my grandmother's ashes in it.
All she wanted was her ashes spread on the field for opening day for Mariners baseball.
That's right.
And when she was passed away, she said, don't forget opening day.
I feel like you get hey, man. Now,
but sports stadiums, it would happen all the time, though.
Yeah.
No, but can you imagine Lambeau Field? Everybody in Green Bay would have their ashes spread.
But you can't tell people that's why you sneak in. Right, because the idea would be security says you can't be here, and you're like, I know, and you sound apologetic and like you really care about this, and you go, man, I'm spreading their ashes, and man, I know it's wrong. This is a last request. I think the security guard gives you the go-ahead, but it's not like he's going to tell people, come on down to Lambeau. I think it's just one of those things like, hey, I get it. Go ahead. Now, it'd be different if it's like, I'm just spreading my grandmother's ashes. And a locked liquor store? That's what she wanted, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she loved this liquor store.
She loved this liquor store. She liked it at night, and that's why I'm here spreading her ashes.
And picking up some Admiral Nelson.
And packing up Admiral Nelson. It's her favorite drink. It's her favorite drink. I'm telling you, the ash thing can get you out of a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. It would, man.
I mean, I'm just thinking a place as famous as like Daytona or Lambeau. Like, I bet the security guard just goes, hey, man, can't do it. That's just what they tell me. Everybody be doing it.
But I'm telling you, you can put it on the sob story. I feel you have the ashes. That's the difference, man.
Well, then why did you break it in the first place?
Because I knew you'd say no during the day. And this is all show.
Look, wait a minute. Now we got a cover story. Like, why are we breaking into the stadium?
Because
we're spreading the ashes.
Of course, you wanted the ashes. And I knew during the day, you don't want to upset other people that are here. Daytona's going on. I'm not going to throw the ashes up there.
To just carrying around an urn.
I'm carrying around the urn, yeah. I'm saying if I plan on doing something that I know is perfectly... I'm going to trespass somewhere I shouldn't be. I'm bringing the ashes. That's all. Mm-hmm. That's it. Doesn't matter. Hey, man, you can't be in the community pool. Sorry. I mean, I'm spreading my grandmother's ashes. Guy probably like, I used to work security at Lambeau. I remember this ass. Hello, Logan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, so about 5-6 years ago, it was right after I turned 21. Long night at the bar. Me and a buddy. He didn't get permission to sleep on a couch. I ended up leaving him on the side of the road. I went my way. I don't think he went his way. Left would have walked him back to his mom's house. Right would have walked him into a new development. Corner house in the development was unlocked. He walked right in. He was kind enough to take off his shoes.
That is, well, a little etiquette. Yeah. A little etiquette when I break in.
Right. But slept on the couch, got woken up about 5 a.m. to the police. The homeowner didn't press any charges, took him to the hospital for some blood work, and that was it.
Damn.
Well, it all worked out then.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to admit.
It all worked out.
If I wake up and there's someone dead asleep on my couch, and I can piece together that this person was previously hammered, I'm not going to press charges.
No.
I'm going to call the cops and have them take him. Well, I'm not going to do it. I'll have the cops do it. But, I'm not pressing charges. Look, I don't know how much this guy drinks. I promise you, I drink more than he ever has in his life. It's fine. It's okay.
It's the Canadian way. Right. You know what I mean? Just, you understand what happened. You can deduct this pretty quickly.
Let me take that back. It depends on the age. If they're my age, bro, you need help. Right?
No,
if you're 20 years old, correct. I get it. And your buddy lives 2 houses away.
You say, who's the kid on my couch? You don't say, who's the senior citizen in my living room? It's a different conversation.
What's the age cutoff for you not pressing charges on the guy that somehow got into your home and slept on your couch?
I think it's the window of about 35 to 55. Then you're like, or 60. Because then you're like, dude, what the hell are you doing? But after that, you're like, all right, well, you're old. Maybe you got lost. You know what I mean? If you're younger than that, then I know you're just a drunken idiot.
See there, Ted? The sob story. So this guy's 62 years old. There ain't a goddamn thing wrong with him. He's 62. But Miles says, you know what? I'm not going to press charges. You're an old crazy man. It's the same as the ashes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wanted to spread my mom's ashes. I got to the wrong house. You cut him slack. You make him breakfast. You send him on his way.
Going into somebody's home's a little different because you got to physically get in there. But I definitely, in the last 2 years, have been at somebody else's apartment complex on vacation and just been like, you got to walk outside and find me, man. All 5 of these buildings look exactly the same.
No way, really?
Oh, yeah. And I was like, I know the Uber dropped me off at the correct complex, but I'm like, bro, I'm standing outside looking at what looks like your entrance, and I got nothing.
Because they all look the same.
Yeah.
Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Blaine. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola!
How's it going, guys? So I was hanging out a couple years ago when I was in high school with some buddies in downtown Seattle. We loved climbing on rooftops and stuff, getting photos. We were big on 35mm film.
All right.
And we stumbled across the Roosevelt. I'm sure you guys know where the Roosevelt is. We went
into
the lobby, slid past the
the receptionist somehow, like as soon as, because you need a key card to get into the elevator. So we waited for someone to leave. We went in the elevator and we were like, well, oh snap, like we can't even press any buttons without
a key
like
card.
a key card. So we just hung out in the elevator for what felt like an hour. We were all scared. We thought we were going to get in trouble. We're on the first floor and the elevator sunk down a level. We were like, oh snap, like this is no bueno. This isn't any good. And then the door opens and we see like the guts of the building and like a janitor pops in the door and he's like kind of like, what the heck are all these kids doing in here? He stared at us for a second. It was really awkward. We didn't say anything. And then he just asked us what floor we were going to. And we said, like, we looked at the numbers and we just said the top one. Like, that's literally all we said. He kind of shrugged his shoulders. Homie just hit the button and then the elevator went up to the first floor. He got out and then boom, all the way up to the top. We get out of the elevator, we find the nearest stairwell, and it says no roof access, of course. But we went up the stairwell, and then boom, the door, no alarms, no nothing. The door just popped straight open, and we were on the roof of the Roosevelt. And it was pretty crazy. There was no railing, there was no nothing. It was like, open the door.
Hello?
And then
how high is the Roosevelt?
Man, I can't remember how high, but it was high enough to make your boys go up.
Yeah,
it's
definitely high enough. The worst thing that can happen is that door closes and it locks. Right.
Yeah.
That roof door tends to do that a lot.
Oh, we made sure we took like one of our shoes off or nudged our bag in the door because we like I said, we were climbing random rooftops all the time at that time. But anyways, we got up and we were on the rafters of the sign, like up there. We climbed up even on the sign, and we got some crazy film photos up there. And then it was something straight out of a movie, like Electrical Man, or I don't know who he was. We hear like, "Hey, who the heck's up there?" And we all just grabbed our stuff in a timely, safe manner. And the dude chased us like all the way. He was we didn't even really see him, but there was no way he was going to catch some high school kids in their prime.
In their prime. That's right.
Yeah. But it was crazy, man. I'm shaking right now thinking about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, that's a pretty iconic sign for downtown Seattle.
So I went to, or the first high school I went to was called Baltimore City College. And I'll show you guys, this is what it looks like, right? Yeah. So this center tower here, there is access to it, but no students are permitted to go up there. So naturally, we went up there, and it's really cool. I mean, this is a tower, these big Gothic windows, and just like a movie, man. There's like all these pigeons in there, and the way that the sunlight comes in. Well, same thing as him. You hear the keys jingle, and we know who our custodian is, but he doesn't know it's us. So he's chasing us, and there's two different stairwells, and we find the one stairwell, but the stairwell that we take is not the one that we took to get in there. So we don't know where this next one lets out. We open the door and we realize you are now kind of above the library, all right? And the library has very tall shelves, but it also has a sturdier drop ceiling, but a drop ceiling. So we're going to do like we're in Die Hard and try to scale across this drop ceiling. My friend Rich is in front of me. He's lighter than me. I mean, the minute he put pressure on this thing, the ceiling gave way, and he just drops into the goddamn library. All the students freak out. We got in a lot of trouble.
I bet you did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you don't have permission to go up in the tower.
Who didn't get permission to do that thing they did? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola.
Hey, so my story, me and my buddies, we were living up in Bellingham going to Western, and we're in our apartment on a Saturday night just drinking and playing some games. And we're anticipating that our buddy is going to come by with his girlfriend, and we're going to play some more games later that night. And so I'm sitting at my desk playing the games with my buddies, and our front door opens. And I can see in my peripheral that it's like a girl, but the front door doesn't close. And so that seems strange. So I look over, anticipating my buddy's girlfriend, and it turns out to be a total stranger who is very clearly drunk. And she's yelling at us, "Where's Christian?" And we're all looking at her, and we're like, there's nobody here named Christian. And then she goes on, "Where's Christian? Where's Christian?" We're like, "Not here, chick. not here. And then she goes on to berate us about what we're doing on a Saturday night, playing video games while we could be out living our young lives like she is.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Hey, thanks for showing up.
Thanks for knocking on the
Glad you're here. Glad
times,
you're Here's a good comment. This is creepy. It says, a few years back, I had a roommate. One day I shaved off all of my long hair. I was just tired of having long hair, decided to cut it all down. Like a normal person, I threw all the cut hair into the wastebasket in the bathroom. A couple months later, I go into my roommate's room to borrow a charger because my phone charger died. And there's a thumbtack on his wall. And under the thumbtack is a Ziploc bag. Full of the hair that I'd shaved off months ago. I never wanted to confront him because I didn't want to hear the actual reason that he kept my shaved hair. To this day, it's still weird to me out, and I'm hoping there wasn't some weird ritual done with it. There's no way to not make that weird, man.
Yeah.
Sorry. Someone keeps your hair, it's weird.
Radio.com, by the way, is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KISW anytime, anywhere. And speaking of, we got Ryan Castle on the way. We will sit and spin next with the 10 best albums from the 80s. You are listening to The Men's Room.